Welcome back for the second time because I had some problems with uh, the synth because there was always a changing from MIDI to from patch preset patch to internal patches. So I solved that problem. So I have the same patches on the EX8P as on the PG-8X. So in today's video, I'm going to compare those two synths, the analog vintage synthesizer and the plug-in digital synth, with the same factory patches on both synths. And if there is a difference between a plug-in and EX8P, the original. So we are going to go through those 32 patches, and the way we're going to do that is I said here, this is the PG-8X. So you can also see the settings here. You cannot see that, of course, here in the PG-800, but I can change if I want to change it. If it's not similar, maybe there is sometimes you got tweak something to let it sound similar. It's not a copy-paste thing. There's always a difference. Even if you have the same synths, it's always the same thing. And the other thing is that I have also create two tracks, one on the PJ and the other one on JX-8P, where I played on it, and so because I cannot play the synth now because I'm here, so I let to play that, so you can always hear the difference in the sound. And if there is a difference or not, I don't know, because I didn't do the test myself. So I'm also curious if it's sound almost different or not. I did that with the DX7 and Dexit, and those were extremely close. So that's also for if you want to buy a synth or just take download a plugin that's for free. Sometimes those can do also the job. But why do you buy the synth if you can have it for free? You must have, of course, a MIDI keyboard, but you have the MIDI keyboard for more than one synth. And in this case, the DX7 is okay in price, but because it's a nice synth. But the EX8P is much more expensive than the DX8, DX7. And of course, if you have the PG-800 on it, because the programmer is also more expensive, then maybe it's a plugin that maybe will be interesting for you to have that in your settings or in your studio. So let's get started, and we're going to start with the first patch. For the PG-8X, to change the patches, just go right or left here. So it's too high, so you can see. So go like that. You go from the first to the second and to the third patch. Easy, previous, and next. And then when you want to download that, you can do that through here, download. And the patches, you can find it on the internet, they are free, the SX patches. In this case, this is called the factory bank from 1 to 32. So I download that on the plugin, or on the PG-8X. For the EX8P, I'm using here this one, going a little bit more down, and I change here. You have the bank and the program on your right. The bank is 0. Your program, you can go for 1, 2, 3, 4, and that change also on the synth. So, but you must set the program change on your synthesizer on, because in default mode it's always off. Same thing for the system exclusive, but you don't have to use that now. For just changing your program, you must only use set on the program change. So now we can do that through MIDI. Excuse me. So that's for the sound. As you see, I programmed 2 tracks for that. So I don't have to play that on the synth. So you can compare those sound. That must go to the right and this one to the left, or stay in the same thing. Doesn't matter. So let's get started. Also, before I'm going to start, feel free to like and subscribe, of course, to my channel. Also, leave a comment in the chat if you like, if you have a question. Just say hello. It will be nice. And for the rest, let's get into it. The first bank is set on the PG and also on the, I must go here because on the JX-8P. So now you can see on your left here which one is, this one is the JX-8P and this one is a PG. So first one is the JX-8P, the first patch normally is set in the first patch. Yes, number 1. I'm going to add a little bit of reverb on the synth. And also now, that's the JX-8P, the PG-8X. And for the first patch, %100% the same. Gonna add the hoodies on it in 2. Same thing here. Because when you're at the hoodies, maybe there is a difference. I don't hear a difference. Can you hear that? Just leave it in a comment. Going the second patch. So now on the second patch will be there a difference between those two? I don't know. We will hear that. Starting again with the JX-8P. Same thing. No, I don't hear nothing. Now the next one. That's the 100% same. So there is no difference. And that's strange because that's a digital synth. It emulates very, very nice the JX-8P. And the hoodies is set off in this case. That's with the hoodies on. Going back to the hoodies on. So maybe there is a difference in the hoodies. I don't hear difference. Maybe a little bit in the chords, a little bit. When you're here listening with the headphones, then you're gonna hear a tiny but very small difference, very small. It's it's just wastes, but there is a difference, but very small. But they sound identical. There is no difference. Going back, and if I must say, when I'm listening very good, I must say there is the JX-8P is a little bit more rougher in the edge, but it's very small difference. So in my opinion, they are almost identical. So what do you think? Do you have the same opinion, or do you think there is for you a small difference? I can hear almost any difference. Okay, going to the next, number 3, is also piano sound. Also, in this case, number 3. Again, starting with the JX-8P. Next, I don't hear difference. Identical. So we are now at the third patch, and always sound the same thing. There is no difference, and the volume is the same. So that's a PG, and that's the JX-8P. Maybe there is a, but it's almost. I don't hear a difference. So just feel free to let me know in the comment, what do you think are the difference between those two. I can't find any, so maybe I just sell my JX-8P because they are the same. Next, number 4. Going to the patch number 4, shallow, and also set here number 4. Again, starting with the JX-8P. This one is very quiet. Will it be also quiet on the PG? Yes, it is also quiet on the... So even the volume is identical. There is no difference. Not even in the volume. Set the chords on. There is quite a vibration on the chords. Now going to turn on the chords. Will be the same vibration on the... I found the... To be honest, the JX-8P chorus sounds a little bit less wider than the PG. There's more stereo filled in the PG than the JX-8P. Strange. Normally I would say the X-8P sounds better because it's an analog synth, an analog chords also. So the emulator does that very nice. Number 4 and number 5. Arrow crossing. Arrow crossing, yes. Arrow crossing. Also here, number 5. Again, starting with the now, but that go and do that with the mute here. It's better. The X-8P is a little bit louder now, because I said the same thing here. Same volume. The X-8P, identical, no difference. Let's go to the next number. Let's go to the next number 6, low string. Now I'm curious because now the filter will work here in this case also. Number 6, and here also number 6, starting again with the X-8P. I'm gonna turn on the chords also, and the volume, because going back to the PG-8, same thing. Volume is on the maximum, so identical. Do I have to go further? Because now we are on patch number 6. And they sound identical. There is no difference. Even the chorus sounds identical. So for the PG-8X as a free plugin, it's amazing that they did a very nice job. Okay, go to the next patch. I think also string, a high string, yes. Also number 7, a high string. Let's see what that does. Now I'm going to start with the PJ instead of the X-8P. As you see, the volume is also identical. The volume is also the level of the VCA. Almost the same thing. I don't hear difference. So, for those who just came in, welcome to the live stream. Don't hesitate, just feel free to leave your comment in this chat. What do you think? Are those the same synth? Can you hear the difference between those two? I don't hear them. I found those two almost identical. This one cost me more than €1,000, and this is for free. So next patch, number 8, voices, and this one also starting again with the PG now instead of the JX-8P. Going the VCS on the max. I'm gonna set them in chorus 2. I'm gonna do that also on the JX-8P. There is one thing I kind of there is a difference in this case, but do you hear that? And I hear that, and I think now it's because the chorus. Well, with the chorus, without the chorus, they sound the same. With the chorus, this one sounds nice, and this one sound less wide. It's not so wide as the PJ sounds much wider. So very strange. It's stereo. That's mono. Can you hear the difference? I hear a difference, and I know where it is. If I close my eyes, I know directly which one is the JX-8P and which one is the PG-8. And I hear a difference here. I'm gonna tell you, the difference is in the noise. Even without the sound, you can hear it. The difference is in the noise of the chorus of the JX-8P, because it's an analog chorus. It comes in, there is a gain that I adjust, so that gives the noise, that turns up the noise a little bit. The GP is a digital synth, so it has no noise. So that's the reason, because you hear that noise, that gives that a little bit. Is that the vintage sound that you want to have, or the clean sound like the PG is clean? When you're listening again, now in this patch, you can hear it. I'm going to turn on the... Certainly when it's loud, that's... Now you hear the noise. Certainly when it's quiet. Now, you hear that noise in the background. That's the reason. That's also the difference between an analog and a digital synth. Some of those can say, "I like that clean sound, no noise." I'm more that also, but I have also that vintage noise sound in the background, like a vinyl. When you are playing a vinyl music on a vinyl, you have also that noise in that vinyl. So why? That gives it a little bit the charm of sound. So that's the difference between vintage and a real synth and a digital. But sound-wise, they are identical. Even the chorus is even a little bit wider in the PG than on the. Going to the next patch. Turn that off. Going to the next patch, number 9. Also here, going to number 9. That's an organ sound. Will it sound same? We will see. We'll turn it a little bit down. That's a PG-8X. Going to the strange. That's number 9. Excuse me, I'm going to go back to set the number 9 because it's not number 9. I didn't program that on this patch. I'm back now. Now we will hear number 9. That will be the. Hi, welcome, Uncle Chrome. Oh, that's far away from here. I'm from Belgium. Okay. This one is the original. I have the original. No updates on this one. Now, try again the other one. Identical. Hi. Lady Up. Welcome in the chat and welcome in the live stream. I don't have that at all. JX-8. I don't have it in my. Maybe we can do that also. Yes, why not? Going back to the JX-8P, the same thing here. You're gonna hear the difference in the noise, and that's it. Only the noise. That gives the difference between those two synths. Let's go to the next one. Going to the next patch, also an organ sound, I think, for the next patch, number 10. And also here, number 10. Hopefully now it's the same and not like before, also an organ. Start with the PG-8. All those who came in, welcome to the live stream, and also feel free to like and subscribe or leave a comment in the chat and your opinion about those two, since the JX-8P and the PG-800. Do you think they're all the same or not? The same thing again. I didn't change that. I'm going to do that again. So excuse me for that default. that will be now the same organ. Yes, indeed, you can. How can you compare those two? The TEL X8 with the PG-8X. The one thing I can say is that the JX-8P and the PG-8X are very are same. They are sounding the same. The only difference is in the noise. There is a little bit more noise in the JX-8P. That's normal. It's an analog synthesizer. It has also an analog, if I'm not wrong, an analog chorus, and that makes that noise. That's normal. You don't have that on the PG-8X. It's a digital, so that noise, you don't have it. So if you like that, a clean sound, then the PJ is the perfect plugin for the emulation of an JX-8P. There are two JX-8Ps, I think, with different sound. I think I have the latest one, but the first one, I think, is more noisy also, and it has a little bit different sound than this one. So this one is, like I hear it, is built on an example of the JX-8P I have here, and it's an original. So the PG-8X is original, so I must to compare the tall JX-8P, JX-8 with the JX-8P instead of the PJ, I think, lady app. Maybe the tall doesn't sound like the JX-8P because the PG-8X is, how can I say it? It's a clone. It's 100% clone, and it's similar. So it's another synth, maybe the tall. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look up that, and maybe I'm gonna compare that with the JX-8P in another video. Why not? That's very interesting. Is it a free plugin? The toll, is that a free plugin? The PG-8X also, eh? Keep the discussion. Nice. I like that. Now going to the next patch. The next patch is, what do we have here? Number 11, starting with the PJ, because sometimes, yes, it's a pipe organ. Okay, but this one is free. That makes a big difference, I think. It sounds the same as the JX-8P, and it's for free. So for those who want to have the same sound as a JX-8P, then it's the PG-8, the idea plugin, because it sounds the same, and it's for free. It's a free plugin. Not normally there are some of the I learned now how do you say it. I read some comments on the PG-8 that it's in some DAWs it doesn't work well, but with the Cubase it works like it's perfect. It doesn't hesitate any time. Never. It works on Windows, yes, and not on a Mac. That's true. That's yeah, that's indeed. It does work on Windows, but you must have a Windows. And I work with Windows. I never had a Mac, so that's why. but it's for free. Indeed, the software is a little bit limited instead of the. It's not developed, but if it sounds the same, why does I have to? You can do the same thing with the plugin. Let's get going to the next, because this one is also the same sound. I'm almost halfway and all the sounds are identical. Can I find a difference in one of the patches? I hope so, but I will try. The next one, number 12. Timbals. Okay. Going back to the PG. Going now. Okay, again, I didn't change that patch another time. And again, I'm gonna change that. I'm going to try again, and normally it's... And here, I think I hear a difference. There is a difference in this case, I think. PJ? No difference. Number 13, and the same thing, no difference, only the chorus is a little bit noisy on the JX-8P than on the PJ. And what do you found when you compare those two, the PJ and the Toll? Because the PJ is literally the same as the JX-8P, only the noise doesn't have that noise on the chorus. That's the only difference between those two now. It's for me also the first time that I hear that. Send me a link or something where I can hear the difference. Because and does also the Toll work on a Windows laptop, lady app? The same thing again, no difference in this case, even in patch number 12. Going to patch number 13, and music box, normally that will be the same, hopefully. Also on the JX-8P. I will look up it. Back to 13. Yes, that's the same. And now I can start with the JX-8P. Okay, that's also nice to have that. And what's the price on that Toll? Because that's also what do you pay for a plugin? Here I hear the difference. And what's the price range for the Toll plugin? For those who just came in the chat, in the live stream, welcome to the live stream. And feel free to like and subscribe. And to leave a comment in the chat, of course, or your opinion about those two synths. 55 US dollars, Australian dollars, Canadian dollars. It will make, I think, 40 euros, 30, 40 euros for an app for that. Oh, not so expensive. That's nice. Now the same thing in this case, patch number 13, always the same. No difference between the patches. Number 14, that's the wind machine. Oh yeah, wind chimes. Where wind chimes? That was wind chimes. Will be that the same thing. Hi, Tom. Welcome in the chat. I hear there is a difference between the EX10 and the EX. Normally it's 2 times the EX8P, but the EX10 has a different sound than the EX8P. It's more cleaner, I thought, but it's also analog. But I thought that the envelope generators are digital instead of analog on the PG-800. That's an analog envelope generator, and I thought on the EX8P, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was digital, and that made the difference between the PJ and the EX8, the EX10 and the EX8P. I saw that. I saw it also in the. Yes, and you can hear that in the noise. That's the only difference I can hear for those two. I compare those two plugin and the real thing and the real deal, and they are similar. Only the noise in the hoodies is different because it's an analog hoodies that on the synth. So but they did a very nice emulation of the hoodies on the PG-8 also. Next, going to the next one. They did the same thing. I don't know why I do that comparison because they are same. They sound the same. That reminds me for the DX7 also. I did that on one of my videos. A comparison of the patches on the DX7 and the DX8. Also a free plugin. You can have that. You can also stack them. You can have 5, 6 DX7 on each other. That makes it also very interesting when you're using different sounds. And it's also for free. So there is lots of free plugins, very nice plugins to have that instead of buying. Yeah, that's maybe my preference. Because I like free plugins. I don't pay for plugins. Only some for in my DAW for mixing and mastering. But then even then, if I want to choose between the real compressor or a plugin from Universal, I like Universal Studios and Universal Audio for the plugins. But for synths, I have some nice plugins, but I love the analog gear. I love the touch of the gear. I love also, that's maybe, yeah, I don't know why. That's my thing. And when I make music, I'm playing on the synth. I'm not making music in the box. That's my opinion about. But I'm certainly that the newest version of the clones of the EX8P are sounding much better. But then, in my opinion, it's not a clone. It's an update instead of a clone. The PG is literally a copy paste of the EX8P. So for those who look for that vintage sound, I think the EX8P is for free, of course. And of course, if you have a laptop that works on Windows, you can do that also even on a Mac. If you you can drive the Windows on Mac also if you allow. Okay, thank you, Lady App. But I'm certainly that the tool is very great, and for the price, it's not expensive, so it will be an upgrade for sound. But I have also other synths in my studio here that are very nice sounding. But I like that typical sound of the EX8P, that 80s sound that gives also, it has its own character. That's my opinion, of course. Let's go to the next patch. I don't think there will be a difference because they are the same sound. That's a bass sound, of course, instead of string or bell sounds. So I'm going to change that also. Okay. Oh. And do you use the tall a lot, or is it because it's a specific sound that you have on that? Do you, oh, okay. It's a nice option that you have now. I didn't know that. Send me the link and so I can check it out. Who knows? I can always learn now. Next is the bass sound, so we will see. That's the PG-8 that you hear. Now the EX8P, the noise, of course. And to be honest, there is a little bit small difference, and more in the attack I found. Maybe not. It's so close. You can hardly. I'm listening with headphones, so for those who just listen with speakers, there is that you cannot find a difference between those two. That's one of the synths that I want to have also, but I don't have room enough for that. The Alpha Juno, Alpha Juno 2, not the one. The one is not so idea. The 2. I hope you mean the 2 instead of the 1. I'm listening in the low end because there's a little. There is more low end in the PJ than on the EX8P. A little bit more low end. They are set the same. And also a tiny bit more noise. Is there so many difference between the Kiwi and the original? Because sometimes I saw some guys written that when the Kiwi update was not so interesting, or even not. What does that do? The Kiwi update on the EX8P. What's the difference between the normal and Jupiter 8? And what does that do that to the synth? Does it change the sound? Does it make it more compatible with the DAWs? Or what does that do? Is it so important that you have that Kiwi update? Or because I'm a fan of always original. More the original synth, the more that I like. I'm not so into too much updates on a synth. Next bass sounds, number 16. And then I'm going to compare some popular patches, of course, that you know. The brass and the... What does it... Okay, then I get you. Yes, I understand that. much. Set that a little bit more, less. For those who just say that the EX8P doesn't have that warm low end, it's a very nice low end sounding synth. There's a very deep bass sound. But in this case there is a difference. And can you hear the difference between those two? Where is the difference? And I will also tell you which one I prefer. Okay, that's also the more noisy chorus, I think. If I'm not wrong, because the original is more noisy. Okay, that's also interesting. Here is a difference. There's a big difference here, and I want to try to change a little bit and tweak a little bit the EX8P, that it will sound the same as because there is more low end on the PJ than on the EX8P. Less low end sound. Can I change that and make it a little bit more than? So I prefer in this case for the bass sound, this one. The PJ is more bassy, more low end than the EX8P. There's a difference. Is that in the settings? I will try to recreate that here. I see it here on the settings. Maybe it will be the same. I will try, because it's not so. And now I think they're more punchy. The PJ is more, there is more bass. To be honest, if you ask me now which one do you prefer, I prefer the PJ instead of the EX8P for this bass, even if it is one of my favorite bass sounds that I have on the synth. Maybe now, same. Now there is a bass, there is a lot of bass. Now that's nice. So it's in the settings. As you see, there is sometimes a difference, but I think there is a difference. Okay, I see something that I didn't do. So now the chat is there were some people that didn't saw the chat because I didn't update that. Now it's now it's updated. So you can follow the chat also. Now going to the more famous patches that we know on this synth, the brass sound, of course, and the starting with the here in this case soundtrack, the most famous. Will it be the same or not? Also here in this case, number 17. Starting with the EX-8P. Make it louder. Next, I'm gonna set that also loud because it's not so loud. Always the same thing. The PJ is more bassy than the EX-8P. There is more low end on the PJ than on the EX-8P. That's my opinion. To be honest, I like the PG-8. I like it. It's a very nice synth. Yeah, and that's for free, yes. Indeed, Tom. That's fantastic that you have that. Can tweak that a little bit that it's gonna. It can go to the fatness of the, but it's a small difference. Now it's more than. Now the EX-8P is more fat. It's more in the settings when you're going to that bass sounds. So yes, maybe we are making for all those people who want to buy vintage synth, buy them because they are nice. They are also nice investing. You can never, how do I say it? You cannot lose your money with vintage synths. Which one? The UL Model D? The Behringer Model D. Yes, I have a video of Behringer Model D. Yes, I know. From Behringer, eh? Do you mean that? Uncle Chrome? The Model D from Behringer, eh? I don't know. Here it's 600, 700. Also, more, a little bit more. Around $1,000, 800 euros. That's around $1,000 for without the PJ 800. PJ 800 is 7 euros, 700 euros. So it's almost the same price as the synth itself. Yeah, the Model D. But I can be honest on that. The reason why it sounds fantastic, it's a fantastic sounding synth, but it is one default on that synth, and that's it's very unstable, very unstable. After 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's out of tune. You must detune again. It's always, and that's the reason why I didn't. Sometimes when I turn it up, it was 20 minutes, 25 minutes before it was getting a little bit stable. And after 50 minutes, a half hour, it was again out of tune. Again, changing detune that. And I didn't, if I want to play that, I must turn that off a half hour before I can start. I had before the Yamaha CS5, much older, very old synth. It was the oldest synth I have. It was in less than 5 minutes in tune, and it stays in tune for the whole day. So it was not stable, and I don't know why, but the sound is incredible. It's like I played on a Mini Moog, so I know the difference between those two for sound. It's the same. It's also identical, the same. It's very nice sounding synth, but it's not stable. It's not stable. It's a very unstable synth. But you have also that synth for less than $500, so why not? If you like that instability in a synth, it's very sensitive for, I think, heat. That's why it's not so stable as the other synths. The other synths, like the DeepMind, Very nice synth, but I don't like the sound of it. The filter sound, I don't like the filters, but it's a nice synth. But and the Behringer Odyssey also have that from Behringer, and that's a very great synth. But I don't like the effects on it. Now I have the Korg Arp Odyssey, and that sounds much nicer. And there's no effects on it. It's pure analog monophonic synth. Mm. Yes, but it's a very nice synth, and for the price, that's not. Even if it goes out of tune, but it didn't work with me. That's why I didn't want to leave it in the studio. And I bought something else. I bought a Model 32, and that's very stable, and that sounds also very fat. Check that out, the Model 32 from Moog, and it's also not so expensive for a synth. If you want to buy, I think the DeepMind, the newest in the GN. I did a video also, the GN 6 8, I think. That's one. That's the synth that you want to buy, not the DeepMind. The other one is much better. I think there's a GA6, I think, of GN6 Behringer. I did a video also on it. I'm gonna try to. Which one was it? The video. I'm going to look it up so I can tell you which one. If you want that 70, that Juno sound, by the GN80s, yes, the GN80s from Behringer, buy that synth, because that's the one the GN80. I think that's much better than the DeepMind. The DeepMind is overrated. It's too complicated. Lots of no, I don't. Not for me. I had that. I didn't want that back. The GN80s. That's the one I want to buy. Even I must make some place, but I think I'm gonna buy that because it's a very nice sounding synth. I think it's gonna be very close to the Juno 16 and 6. Just models bad hands. So I must update the chat again. Yes, update it. I think that's the synth that you must have, not the DeepMind. If you want my honest opinion, buy the GN80s. The DeepMind, I had it. It's far from the JX-8P does 10 times better than the DeepMind, or the PG-8X is much better than the DeepMind. Why not? If you have room and you have money, just do that. That's also where we are. We are was number 17. That the famous sound. Everybody knows this one, of course. Soundtrack. Going to the next one, number 18, Fat Fifth. Also a very nice. I did a song with that one because it's a. That's the reason why I sold it, and because it's too many dive-in menus that you must do. The effects were not so 100%. I didn't like the effects on it, and the filter was most of all the filter. I didn't like the filter of the DeepMind. That's why. And I think the filter on the GN80 is much better than the filter on the DeepMind. That's my honest opinion about that. And in this case, then the PG-8X is much better than the DeepMind, to be honest. There is more attack on the EX8P in this sound. Next one, number 19, rest bells. Okay, I must have, I think 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes, less because I have some visits. And then I must stop the jam. The EX8P now. Again. Same, just a little bit louder, but there's no difference. Next, number 20. And I hope this will be that brass sound, wave. Starting with next one. Identical, only the noise in the EX8P that has that noise from the chorus, of course, and that make that difference between those two synths, but the same. So I think they're all the same synths. I'm going to search one, Tom, why not? A percussive sound, number 21. Maybe there is, can find a difference. I hope so. The same thing, but it is same thing. The same thing. Next one is the clavier. I think that will be also the same thing. The same thing, identical, same sound, the same synth. But the same also, the low end in the PG-8X is more than on the EX8P. Gonna see how the settings are. So there is a little bit difference in the filter, but not so much. Next number, and I think res lead, number 23. So after 23 patches, there is no difference between those. Only the choris does sometimes have more. Res lead number 23, is it the same thing? In this case, there is a difference. There is a difference. I found a one. But not so more brighter. So there is a little bit of brightness in the EX-8P instead of the PJ is more bassier and the EX-8P is more brighter. As you hear, there's a difference. That's the first patch there is a difference in, and that means that it depends on the settings, of course, on the synth. That's the reason why. So both of one of those. Next, number 24, and then I have just 10 minutes to finish off the chat and. Also the same thing. PJ is a little bit more in the low end and the EX-8P more brighter. There is a difference, but a very, very small difference. For a synth that's free, hardly you can not hear it. Number 25, sync lead. That's also a nice one. Lots of attack. Also in it. Identical, no difference. Next number, polybrass. That's the famous brass that also was used on the Final Countdown. Let's hear if it is a difference between those. Oh, very nice low end. If you're listening with headphones, you will hear the low end in this. It's very nice. But I think the EX-8P will be sound brighter than the PG-8. That will be my conclusion also on those two. Like I said, more in the high end, brighter, but also lots of low end. And here, less low end, more brass and bass sound. Yes, and do you hear the difference between those two? That the PJ is more low end and more brighter than the EX-8P. Brightness in the EX-8P and the low end. Now I prefer the EX-8P. I can change that. Just more from the envelope. Then you have the same thing, almost the same, yes. Do it again. Now they are identical almost. So it's also in the settings. It's not always the. It's an old synth, so why you can have even, like I said, two this different. You have the same synth, and even then they will sound a little bit different. That's normal. Of course, if you have the PG-8X two times, they sound identical. There is no difference, and that's also maybe the charm of a vintage synth. It's always different than the other synth. It's not the same synth. You have 10 Junos, 10 different sounds. You don't have identical sounds. That's it's an electronic instrument with lots of components. There are difference. You don't have the same two synths when you have a vintage synth or even a new synth. That's maybe the charm of to have that hardware instead of the software. When you have that software, you have always identical sound in every song, and that means everyone who use that plugin have the same sound, doesn't have that difference anymore. And instruments, I'm a bass player, and there's electric bass, double bass, and there is so much character in the sound of something that lives, that has a difference. You don't want to have the same sound as anyone else. So that's maybe also the charms of a vintage synth. You have that typical sound that nobody else have, because it's one of, even if they have the same component, it's not always the same sound. We going do one, I think, and then I must stop the jam. I can do two, I think. Number 27 also here, and that is the soft will be the same. Oh, that's a big difference here. Oh no, I'm not on the polybrass again. That's that's the sound that I want. Almost identical. That's now the PG. Same volume. That noise that's in the synth, that's the most, also the second difference in the sound. So there are two, but it's also the settings, of course. Sometimes the noise, not, but the low end and high end. Then go to the next one. That's number 28. We are almost done. 28. And let's hear what it is. A tap brass. Brighter. A little bit brighter than the EX8P is a little bit brighter than the PG. That's a PG. That's the EX8. So, but almost identical. There is no big difference or something like that. Hardly notice that there is a change in the sound. Number 29, that's a go-go, a bell. Identical, the same thing. When it's a percussive sound, there's almost no difference. Identical. Number 13, the church bell. Number 13 is a church bell. That typical FM sound. And that was also the reason why this synth was in that time, that emulating the DX7, trying to emulating the DX7 to produce that FM sound. Identical. The nice thing also about the PG that you can see the settings of the sound, because you don't know that when you have the PG-800 on your X8P, the PG-8X can show you the settings for the sound. That's why it's very nice to have this, and it's also identical like the, as you see in the picture, and the number 31 also. Next here. This is not the right. One of those, that's 31 and that's 32. That's why. It's my fault. Identical. Then going to 32, of course, the last one on the list for today. Identical also. Also the same thing, more low end on the PJ than on the EX8P. The EX8P is more brighter and there is a little bit of noise when you're using the decoders on the EX8P. Lots of low end here. You must find that sweet spot to have that low end. Even then, it's more. That's too much. Now I have the same low end. So that's the reason why there is a difference, because that's digital and that's an analog synth, so it can have a difference. But it can produce the same sound as a PJ, but some of the patches are more low end on the PJ than on the JX-8P. Then of course that was for the last one. So if you want my opinion about those two, they are identical. It's a very nice and good plugin that you have for free. You cannot use it on a Mac, or you must run Mac on Windows, then you can use it. So that's okay. You're welcome, Uncle Chrome, and you're also welcome to visit the channel and to give me your opinion, of course. That's why we do that here. Thank you very much for coming and visit the channel. And also Tom and our friend in the lady app. Also thank you for the visit. So there is a difference in the low end a little bit, but that's the settings. There is a difference in the noise, that because it's an analog chorus on the EX8P. And the reason why I also love the PJ, it's the same layout as the PJ800, and that gives you also nice to see how the settings are on your synth for the factory patches. That gives you also, that's also an interesting value that you have on that PJ, and it's for free. So that was it for today. I hope you found it interesting. I see there was a lot of interest in this video, and I'm a bit surprised, but I will make another video not on the PJ, but again on the DX7 to also compare those, the Dexit and the DX7, and also what you can do with it. That's for the next video, and there is lots of more things to come, of course. Keep follow me, and feel free to like and subscribe, or to put a comment in the chat or below in on the under the video, of course. And we will see you again next time on the next live stream. Thank you very much. Take care and see you next time. Bye.